and welcome to nerdgoblinart. I'm Lula. Right, I have the resin ready and I'm using Apex resin from Just For You Online UK. It's a 1-to-1 resin and it's perfect for coasters, and that is exactly what I have out right now, is coasters. Aha. So I've got this is my isopropyl alcohol and I've got it mixed with some of the powders from my tiny turners, and I've also got a magenta, purplish red, sapphire blue and yellow, and of course this is the Sinker White. It's the Let's Resin range of alcohol, inks and Sinker. I'm just going to put that onto the bottle because I've just freshly decanted from the larger bottle because I ran out. Okay, so I've already used my mixer on the resin. I'm not going to be filling them up completely, but I am making sure that the sides are all the sides are scraped as well as the bottom. Now I did these, I was playing around with some of the resin yesterday, and this is what came of doing the it's like the it's the Petri artifact in a coaster. Well, unfortunately I used my old coasters and they are a bit damaged and they didn't come out wonderful. So I thought I'd have another go today using these larger coasters. So making sure I'm scraping all the sides to make sure that there's no resin sticking around, so it's all thoroughly mixed in. You don't want any striations in there because it can affect your curing of your resin. So just making sure that is all nicely mixed in. So I'll be pouring in. I was just checking when looking, just looking down just to make sure I couldn't see any striations, and obviously I must have because I decided to do a bit more stirring. And I used my handheld mixer for this because I'm using less than 8 fluid ounces of resin. And you can see I used my Estoyo mixer. It's just sitting by there because I didn't want to waste any resin. So just giving that a wipe, putting it aside, as well as the mixer in a minute. So we'll be putting in the resin. I'm going to be spraying the coasters first with some isopropyl alcohol, just to try and help with any problems that I might have with bubbles. It's a good spray, and even in the cup as well. So as I said, I'm not going to be filling these all the way to the top, but a nice bit because we'll put a backing on them later. And I've said it before, I've said it, in many videos when I use the Apex resin. It is a great resin for debubbling. So, highly recommend it. And I believe you can buy it over in the States now as well, which is great. I'm just scraping the last remnants of the resin from my cup. Really happy with the amount that I put in there as well. Split nicely between the 4 coasters. And there we go. So making sure when you're using your isopropyl alcohols, I don't know where I was going with it then. I'm just using my heat gun because there are a few little bubbles, and I thought I used my heat gun before I start putting the alcohol inks. That's the word I was looking for, not isopropyl alcohol. The alcohol inks. When you're putting them in, before you actually put them in, make sure you give them a good shake, because the pigment likes to sink down to the bottom of the bottles. These have all been decanted from the original bottles, because when I first started using resin, I had no idea. and I ended up snipping the lids, and I've said it in quite a few videos, so if you've heard it before, I do apologize, but some people find me and start watching me, and it's a good thing to know that you use a pin for the ice, for the not I was going to say it again then for the alcohol inks. Use a pen in those. I ended up snipping the bottles, and they just made a big mess, so I ended up having to buy the needle nose bottles for those alcohol inks instead. Yeah, so it ended up costing a cost to myself. You just saw me then using my stick to go around the edges as well, just to make sure there was no bubbles hiding, because the sides on these coasters, it's like a crystal type effect. These ones are from BB Craft as well, so there's a link in my description for BB Craft. There we go. And for some reason, there's always hairs everywhere. When you have pet cats, it just appears. They might not even be near it, and it just literally appears. So I'm going to start off with the sapphire blue. It's a really lovely blue, actually, and I'm surprised I haven't used it as much. Now, when I did this the day previous with the coasters that I showed you, my the isopropyl alcohol, oh my goodness, words today, I'm doing it again. The alcohol inks spread really quickly, and they're just sitting here, and what I realized was that the resin's not cold. You can see that it's been in the room, but it was I warmed it as a separate entity, when it was in its separate bottles. And I did forget to put in the isopropyl alcohol mixed with the tiny Turner pigments, and I'm just doing that now. It doesn't make a huge difference, I don't believe. You do see a difference. You can see it having a little effect there, but that's because the isopropyl alcohol within the mix. But you'll see it in the end pictures. It's really good stuff. And like I said, mix those up. So they're not spreading as much. And what I realized is because the resin itself isn't warmer. So yesterday when I did these, I'd let I put my resin through my debubbler. They'd been there for like 15 minutes, and with the Apex resin you get around 25 to 30 minutes work time. So as all that time had passed, my resin had started getting warm already. So I think this is why my resin isn't spreading, like why the inks aren't spreading as much as they were in the previous day, which I didn't record because I was just having a little play around, and I kind of wish I did record it now, but never mind. I've added the sapphire blue, and then the second one I added was the magenta, and I just added this is the yellow, and the one after the magenta was the purplish red. Always being aware with the yellow is that because of the mixtures of the colours, obviously, the reds and the blues are going to make a purple, and when you get your purples and your yellow, you can sometimes yeah, a muddier colour. But I was kind of hoping that I was going to get a little bit of a green out of it with the red and the yellow. But never mind. So I'm going to put some music on just for a little short bit whilst I'm stirring these up and adding the Sinker White.
In my zone, I sit and wonder, creating moments like the thunder. Magic flows from note to sound, in the space where joy is found. Color bursts from black and white, midnight turns to morning light. Ideas bloom just like the spring, here in my space I start to sing. Oh, in my happy space I ride, waves of dreams that can't be denied. With every beat and every rhyme, in this place I stand in time. Skies of blue within my room, melodies chase away the gloom. Unseen worlds now take their form, in this place I feel reborn. Color bursts from black and white, midnight turns to morning light. Ideas bloom just like the spring, here in my space I start to sing. Oh, in my happy space I ride, waves of dreams that can't be denied. With every beat and every rhyme, in this place I stand in time.
Chilling winds start to whisper tales. Blankets of frost cover the trails. Rosy cheeks call for more. Sweat is snug wrapped by the door. Jingle bells bring a smile. Let's get lost for a while. Hot cocoa by the fire. Season's love is our desire. Nights draw in with a cozy haze. Streetlights twinkle bright amaze. Scars are dancing in the breeze. Warm hugs, it's such a tease. Jingle bells bring a smile. Let's get lost for a while. Hot cocoa by the fire. Season's love is our desire. We watch the snowfall lightly fall, building dreams we're standing tall.
Right, so after I dropped the inks and the Sinker White, I waited around half hour, 40 minutes until, you know, when you dip your dotting tool in, that it's a little bit stringy. So at this point, you know that it's good to start doing your swirly whirlies or whatever it is you want to do the pattern within the mix. It's the the Daniel Cooper Petri art thing with necklaces, but on a larger scale. Yeah, so I'm just doing the swirly whirls around just like this. Now, my Petri art has always been really good. I've always managed to get really good Petri art, but other than doing my Froggos for Froggy Friday a couple of weeks ago with the Petri art effect, where I forgot to do the swirling, it worked out really well. But this is a bit different. It's not as deep as the frog would be in the little pendants, so it's going to be a bit different. And so these have cured nicely, and this is where we're going to be adding a coat for the back, and I'm going to be using grey. I decided not to go with black, because from the back obviously it looks quite dark as it is, and I just wanted something different for contrast. And this is the a glitter that names escape me. But yeah, so mixing it in, and I'm going to be topping these up. Obviously I'm not stirring this fast, it's on a speed up, and I'm just making sure that it is nicely mixed in. I'd already previously used my isotope? That sounds wrong. Estoyo. The Estoyo mixer, hand mixer, and then just made sure I was scraping the sides. Again, I did really well on my amount of resin. I've had a good day apparently with my guesstimations. Except for that one, the third, yeah, the one I'm fiddling with there. But I checked, I really did. I checked my, used my little spirit level. It's saying it's level, so I'm blaming, on this occasion, I'm blaming the mould. Yeah. So, just making sure it's not leaking too much over. And using, scraping out the last bits. And I do spray with isopropyl alcohol. I'm wondering if that's why it might have dribbled over as well. Maybe I domed it and didn't realise, and then I sprayed it and it broke the tension. That is another possibility, of course. I still haven't mustered this talent of doming. Must learn to dome. If you can hear purring, that would be Bilbo. So, these are all cured, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I'm not talking to you, Bilbo, I'm talking to the phone. I like to do my voiceovers in the evening when I come up to bed, so I know I'm not going to get disturbed by children or household stuff. But Mr. Bilbo Baggins here, my little pussycat, likes to join me. Okay, so let's turn them over. Turn them over, Lou. What are you waiting for? Ooh. I like them. I do like them, and I must confess. My oldest son came home to visit earlier in the day, and he was holding one of the kittens. And now these were obviously on my desk in the studio with my dome cover over them, and she kind of jumped off him and landed on the dome. Oh. And one of them looks like a bit skew. If it was the only one that got caught, but I'll tell you which one it was. I really love these. Yes, I do think that my resin wasn't warm enough, and that's why the white sink dropped so quickly to the bottom. But I really don't care because I think they are so cool. The dimension in them is really cool, and I think you won't pick it up as so much from this, you know, from me showing you, you know, looking at it right now, but you will pick it up in the glamour shots. It is just, I'm trying to show you the glitter and the sparkle, but the camera really isn't, it doesn't do it justice. It really does not. And you can see I did get some greens in there, which I'm really chuffed about. And there's basically no muddying at all. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And then little cat's just decided to start attacking my feet. Yeah. So I think this is my favourite one. It really picked up those swirls that I did. It is so pretty. I don't really mind that those the sinker hit bottom like it did. I think they're awesome, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Love you and stay weird.
In a room full of colors and swirls, Nerd Goblin Art draws a magic world, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance, a whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide, in enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush, animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they leap, in a realm where fantasy meets deep. The studio's alive with swirling paint, creatures so pure they need no saint. Sketches of foxes with tails of light, badgers with moonlit fur in flight. Gerald floats in a stream of dreams, dragons shimmer